Brought to you by ExpressCare Health and Skin Center. Get in, get out, get better.
All right, we are back and continuing our discussion of foot ulcers, a fascinating topic that I hope you're enjoying because I had no idea about this. Once again, Dr. Jitka Lom from ExpressCare is here. Now, Dr. Lom, are foot ulcers hereditary? And I guess maybe this goes back to the larger question of diabetes being hereditary.
Yeah, diabetes runs in families here and everywhere, but especially here on Guam. And so it also goes along with obesity. So if you're a diabetic and you have a weight problem, please help your children so that they don't follow in the same footsteps, literally. And what we want is for people to take good care, walking, exercising, cutting back on your foods that are especially sweet and very fatty is very important. And when you follow a healthier diet, your circulation will be better. You'll you know, there are people who actually can't even see their feet. You know, it's really hard for them to take care of their feet. They can't even reach them sometimes.
Yeah, because depending on the severity of your symptoms, you can't bend down and wash your own feet.
Yeah, so to take care of any little wounds that come up, and also to not be afraid to go get treatment. I hear it all the time when somebody will say, well, I didn't want to come in because I was so afraid I would lose my foot. You know, I tried to take care of it at home. But that's really the opposite thing of what you should be doing. If you have a wound or a sore on your foot, you really need to go get that taken care of. We do have wound care specialists here on Guam now. We're very fortunate. And we have a hyperbaric chamber, meaning extra oxygen that can be placed for your wounds to heal, and various other devices where we have a much higher level of wound care now than we used to. So you don't have to have an amputation. You can actually cure your wound. You know, it's interesting, a diabetic foot ulcer, it heals at the rate of 1% per day, slowly, very slowly. So people say, oh, it's not getting better. Well, it takes such a long time. You know, over 4 weeks, like a month, it'll be about half the size, and another 4 weeks, half the size of that. So it may take months before that thing heals.
Yeah, so that's almost 3.5 months if you've got a foot ulcer to
if it's
to
a big enough
fully
ulcer, If it's really deep and it's already down into the muscles and into the tendons, that has to be surgically removed. That dead tissue has to be removed. Sometimes they can save at least a portion of the foot, but basically early intervention, and the sooner that you get treated, the better for you.
All right. Now, what increases the chance that many Guamanians can contract a foot ulcer?
Well, again, I think just awareness, controlling your diabetes. You know, why does the healing not happen, or why does it get infected? If you have a little cut, why doesn't your cut get infected? Because your environment is much healthier and you're not feeding bacteria. If your blood sugar is 300, 400, that's liquid sugar going through your bloodstream, feeding bacteria that might get into your foot. So you need to control the sugar and bring it down.
Now, not to be insensitive, Doc, to our diabetes community, but for people without diabetes, could people also contract foot ulcers from, say, beach walkers, either walking on the sand and getting bit by a sand flea, or walking out on the reef and getting like a little cut, or walking around? A lot of people on Guam, walk around barefoot in the home, and they may have dirt and dust and maybe cockroach droppings or something
Whatever.
like that.
Yeah, it could happen. So then you would have an injury to the foot, and foot injury.
Doing yard work outside.
Sure, or even a puncture wound. Stepping on a nail or something like that, where it could turn into a bad infection. Even in a very healthy person, that can happen. So getting your tetanus shot updated is important for that. And if you do get a cut, take good care of it. Again, don't walk around with open zoris with no sock and letting the dirt get on your cut. You need to wash your foot, put a sock on, and take good care of it. One thing that really helps too for healing is elevating the foot so that you aren't creating more swelling with your foot dangling down.
And studies have shown that actually helps you sleep better, right? If you elevate your feet?
Yeah.
You've told us that before.
I think so, yeah. And tapping your feet together somehow helps too.
And really?
Yeah.
Well, it worked for Dorothy and Oz, so it might work for you.
If you can't sleep at night, try tapping your feet together. It helps a bit.
Well, technically those were her heels, and she said a little passage and everything, but that's you can look that up online. You can Google that for fun. Okay, so to reduce the risk overall and everything, just eat better. Take care of yourself.
Take your medication.
Monitor your feet constantly anyway to see if anything happens. Generally on Guam, you don't want to walk around barefoot anyway, because I know a lot of people do that. They walk around in the grass. They walk around on, up in Jigo, they may walk around the red dirt. Here they may walk around in the sand or something like that. There is an inherent risk in doing that.
Well, you could hurt your feet, and
Yeah.
if you're a diabetic, you definitely shouldn't do that. You know, coral walking would be probably the worst you could do.
What can you subscribe as far as, or prescribe, I should say, as far as foot care for the diabetic community? Are there certain types of shoes that are more preferred than others, or
I think just like what we were talking about, having a little bit of a bigger shoe.
slip-ons?
Slip-on, well, actually, no, something that is a little bit more solid with keeping your heel in place,
Okay.
but making sure that it doesn't rub on your foot, trying to wear a clean sock. And what you mentioned is even indoors, because indoors is where there's just as many hazards. You know, if you step on, you know, a bottle cap or a child's toy,
Okay.
you could hurt yourself.
Now, here's our final question, because you know, I've got many friends in the hiking community, and you know, I was fortunate to have friends that took me out hiking when I was a kid. You know, we love the outdoors here. We got a wonderful environment for that kind of thing, and I cannot begin to quantify how many times I got sticker burrs that got stuck on the inside of my sock, and I wound up like stepping down on it, or rubbed up against my
There you go.
ankle, my heel, something like that. Could that contribute to a possible
Sure.
foot ulcer?
Sure, it
Because those
could.
hurt, and those can cut.
They do. They can hurt and they can cut. Bites are another thing, insect bites or animal bites, yeah. So just shielding yourself, knowing that if you do get a problem, the best thing you can do is get it taken care of early on before it turns into a more serious problem.
All right, and dovetailing back to something that Doc told us many months ago, you should be changing your socks at least once